Good morning students, here I am to begin this second part of our semester. So we have finished the first semester and today onwards we are going to start about the second semester. I hope that I have made you to understand little bit. I hope that you have listened and cooperated with me for the first semester. And what to do, I had one exam, one test, FA1. In that hardly anybody, no, very few from the 10th standard. 7 students have written their exam. That is their fate. What can I do? Okay, I have done my effort to do the things. Now we are entering to the second semester. That is the first lesson of this part 2 is the eyes are not here. Where it gone? That's something secret, something mysterious things are as the title. Unless we go through the lesson, we don't know what is this. The eyes are not here. Okay. Before going to the lesson, I would like to explain to you about the author who has written this. He is Ruskin Bond. He was born in the Kausuli in 1934 and lived in Hyderabad. Okay, and he was one of the finest storytellers in English in India. The finest sharp storytellers in India. So he has written several short stories, novels, and the books for the children. And he also receives awards. He receives award Padma Shri Award in 1999. Okay, for his well-written children's literature, and the Padma Bhushana he receives in the 2014. That is for the play of The Room on the Roof, and that was written in his age of 17, young age. He was writing this. He was from the writer from his very young age. Okay, and actually that was written there in the age of what he received award in the 2014, and he memorable prize he gets for the one Llewellyn Rhine Memorial Prize in the 1957. Okay, and he is many of his stories are based on the Mauseries, and that is on the foothills of the Himalaya. Himalaya on the top there is a Moshirans, there is the deep islands, deep lands, foothills. Okay, there are a few people live there, and that is he speaks about. Let's see go for the summary of this lesson. This is very popular short story by Ruskin Bond, a well-known Indian writer. There are only 2 main characters in the story. How many? There are 2 main characters in the story. A blind man and a blind girl. Story is based on blind man and a blind girl who are traveling together by train. Remember, if the story summary is clear, then your lesson is very clear, so that you don't need to be worried. You must know the summary, the whole of it. The author plays the role of the narrator in the persona of the blind young man. Now, he plays the role on the side of this blind man. Okay, this writer is considered as a blind man now here in this play. Okay, who is traveling to Mussoorie by train. There is a chance encounter between this young man and a blind girl who boards the train at the Rohana station. In one of the stations, that is the station name is Rohana, he meets this blind girl in the station. The young man is quite inquisitive and loves talking to fellow travelers. He was very interesting in talking to the fellow travelers. He is one who comes in. Okay, this is his hobby. Naturally, he keeps talking to the blind lady in an interesting manner until she gets down at Saharanpur. Okay, at the one station, she gets down, that is the station is Saharanpur. Ironically, both the young man and the young lady do not know that the other one is blind. The problem is, both are speaking, both the blinds are speaking, this author, blind man, and this blind girl, both are speaking, but they were not knowing they are blind. Okay. It is this irony of situation that propels the plot further in this confusion, in this unknown ideas, without knowing, that is called irony. Both are not knowing they are blind, this is called irony. Okay. And this ironical story continues. In the end, of a young man learns that the girl was blind, but the girl does not come to know that her fellow traveler was also blind. But end of the story, this blind man comes to know, one who is traveling with him, the girl, one who is speaking to him on the way, she was a blind at the end. But the girl was not knowing that he was a blind. Clear? In the later it comes to know. Both are blind, but now one comes to know that he is a blind. Okay. The author postpones the revelation of the girl's blindness until the end, only to sustain the readers interested and to give a story of the fitting end. Both are interested in giving the super end, nice conclusion. That is what let's see. When the story begins, the narrator says that he had been all alone in the compartment until a girl got in at the Rohana station. What is the first thing he says? Till you come inside the compartment, I was alone in this compartment. Okay, where she gets in the Rohana station. He assumes that the couple who had seen the girl at the station were probably her parents. He assumes, not sure, that the couples who had seen the girl off at the station were probably her parents. He also remarks that they seemed very anxious about her comfort and gave her detailed instructions as to where she should keep her things. When not to lean out of the windows and how to avoid speaking to strangers. And the second things, they have told them where to keep her things and to avoid speaking to the stranger. Then the young narrator confesses that he was totally blind at the time and his eyes were sensitive only to light and darkness. And he completely confesses, says that my sights are only recognizing day and the night, brightness of the day and the darkness of night. So that I understand it is the day, I understand it is the night. That's all the understanding I have. Without that, apart from that, I can't see anything. Therefore, he was unable to tell what the girl, his co-passenger, looked like. So that he cannot say how she looked like. But he could guess that she was wearing slippers from the way they slept against her heels. Okay. When she was coming in with the walking, and he understood that she was wearing the heels. There is a sound, tock, 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 tock. Then he says that it would take him some time to find out what she looked like, and that is like the sound of her voice and even the sound of her slippers. Okay. Only he can recognize the thing, because he was wearing the heels. There is a sound of their slipper and the voice of her. That is the only thing recognizes. The narrator parents the actual conversation between him and the blind girl. In between, he also adds his observations about what was happening in the story. The young man begins the conversation asking her whether she was going to Dehra. But he feels that his question must have started her because the girl exclaims and says that she did not know that anyone else was there in the compartment. And she says, in the compartment, I don't know anybody, okay, because I can't see. But she don't say that I can't see. The narrator, with a great deal of presence of mind, says that it is natural for the girl not to have seen him, arguing that every often it happens that people with good eyesight fail to see what is right in front of them. The writer says now, the author says, it is the common people, even those who have the eyesight, they are failed to see the right things, what is required. Because they have too much to take in, whereas people who cannot see have to take in only the essential. And the problem is, those who have the eyes, they can't see the essential things because they have many things to see. But those who don't have the eyes, they have essential things to see. And that is what is very important here. The narrator then continues his conversation, telling the lady that he also did not see her but heard her coming in. The narrator says, I also not seen her, but I heard her coming in. That is the only thing I have. The girl tells him that she was getting down at Saharanpur and her aunt was going to meet her there. And she says, I am going to getting down in the Saharanpur where my auntie comes to take me there. The narrator realized that he cannot expect to keep her company for a long time, says that he had a better not to be too friendly with the girl and comment that aunts are usually formidable creatures. Okay, and he takes the option not to spend a lot of time with her because her auntie, she is usually formidable creatures. They always want to forbid the things, avoid the things, aunts. The girl then asks the young man where he was going. When he replies that he was going to Dehra and then to Mussoorie. The train passes from Dehra to Mussoorie to the hilltop. She exclaims and says that he was very lucky to go to Mussoorie and that she loved the hills, especially in October. See here, blind man, blind people are telling, is nice to see what they can see. I think they might have feel the weather, nothing rather than that. So especially she says the month of October. Okay. The young man confessed that he had seen it before and recalling his memories tells her that the October is the best time to visit Mussoorie because the hills are covered with the wild dahilas. The sun is delicious and at night one can sit in front of a long fire and listen to music. He adds that in October the tourists will have left and the roads are quiet and almost deserted and the area will be cool and calm. Since the girl does not say anything in reply, the narrator feels that the girl must have been either touched by what he said about Musa, right? Or she must taken him to the romantic pool. Since the girl is not speaking anything to this man, he thinks that this girl may be thinking on the romantic mood. So let's see what the romantic mood continues in the next video.